Okay, for this first battle, I'll be leading off with Jean the Galade. Ooh, Tyrannosaur. Good start. He Dragon Dances for whatever reason. I'm able to Drain Punch and take him out because that's a quadruple weakness. And then they hit the Dark Pulse, which kicks in Justify, which boosts my attack. I Drain Punch. I restore all my health. And then he sends in Goodra. I have the boosted attack. They do Sludge Wave, do Drain Punch, and then this is when they decide to quit. And I win this first battle. I'm starting off with Roland the Chatot. I use Chatter. I use Nasty Plot to boost up my special attack. And I'll use Boom Burst, which is just going to destroy Kingdra. Okay, Dragon Knight comes on the scene. I use Synchronize for whatever reason. I was just trying to experiment with it, but I should have just stuck with Boom Burst because I just got Thunder Punched and that hurt a lot. I send in Joel the X-Cloud, Thunder Punch. I use Blizzard but miss, and Dragon Claw destroys me. I send in Grant the B-Sharp, Sucker Punch to take out Dragonite, and then Haxorus comes into the scene. So I use Revenge, which I'm just not hitting it right with Grant right here. But it's kind of gotta be very technical with Grant. Oh, and Jean the Galade gets one-shotted. He gets Poison Jab, but he takes it. Gets the poison. He takes a citrus berry. I use Thief to steal the Assault Vest, so I'm thinking I should be able to take a hit. Oh, I take a Focus Sash, I'm sorry. Poison. Okay, Calm Mind, they're just boosting up stats. I'm not really able to hit these things too hard. Okay, they're doing the Recover Poison technique. So they're just outlasting me. Yeah, and then there goes Chance the Poliwrath. And he gets taken down by poison. So I send in Mandy the Gardevoir. Mega, Psychic. Yes, he takes the Psychic. I use Hyper Voice. And almost take out the Latios. And I'm going to be able to take it out. Oh, for whatever reason I use Calm Mind. But I use Calm Mind because the day was poison. I get Iron Headed. And I lose this match to Zarok. For the following battles, the positions of my team are reversed, and I'm seeing it from the perspective of my opponent. So they sent out a Heatran. They didn't like the matchup, so they swapped out to Uzuro. I Poison Jab Uzuro, get the poison. It knocks off my Citrus Berry, which is unfortunate, but I decided to use Thief, and I steal the Assault Vest. So I'm thinking I should be able to take a hit, but I get destroyed by Play Rough. Wasn't even a crit. Now I send out Mandy the Gardevoir, Fairy versus Fairy. I use Calm Mind because of the poison. They use Superpower for whatever reason. I don't know what they were thinking there. And then they send in Latios, and they use a Hidden Power, which doesn't really do much. And I just tear it apart with Hyper Voice. They Mega Evolve and then Dragon Claw Fairy type, so I don't know why they did that. I don't know what their thinking was with that. And then Heatran, I use Psychic Attack, which doesn't really do much. I can't stand fighting Heatran because I just can't stand it. It's like really tanky and it's very tricky to hit because it's that Fire Steel type, so it's very interesting to try to beat it. So I'm boosting up my stats to try to get over its bulkiness, which doesn't really work that well. The burn takes me down, and I send in Jean the Galade. and Jean's not too happy about him taking down his bride, so he just drains punches it and takes it out. He's got burns, and in the intimidate, so I decided to boost my stats to kind of get over the burn and stat reduction. And then I get earth powered, so it's for naught. I send in Joel the X-Cloud, and I use I'm gonna use a blizzard to decimate Lander Earth as ground flying. They use knocks off my expert belt. I use blizzard, and then I try to use blizzard again, but it misses, so I should have used my electric attack, which is a guaranteed hit. But so I get taken down by Mandibuzz. So I send in Grant, and so I use Sucker Punch, but they use Defog, which they actually removed my stealth rock from that I had on my team. So appreciative of that. I don't know quite what they were thinking using Defog. Yeah, they knock off my black glasses, so I start using Metal Sound, which misses, which is very interesting. They try to Toxic a Steel type, so I use Metal Sound. And they use Defog to reduce my evasion. I use Metal Sound to reduce their special defense. Being that my next Pokemon is a special attacker, I was just bumping up the, or bumping down, should I say, the special defense of Mandibuzz. And Grant is still alive at this point, which is very, very good for a Pokemon Showdown. Usually, you don't go too many rounds before getting knocked out. So, I know that Mandibuzz doesn't really have too much going on for it. So, I go ahead and just try to do Metal Sounds and try to get it to where I can one-shot it with a Dark Pulse, which isn't really happening. But I'm kind of just wearing it out and making it an easy target for Chatot next go round. So 9% left. We're really not doing all that much damage to each other. And then Mandibuzz finally takes me down, Grant down. So I send in Roland the Chatot, Boom Burst, and just annihilates the Mandibuzz, and I win that battle. Alright, so I'm leading off with Joel the X-Cloud, and he gets almost destroyed by Vicenti, or Victini, however he named it. Manny the Gardevoir. So he swapped out Gengar. I was setting up Calm Mind, so that works out very well. They use Sludge Wave. I use a Psychic attack, which nails Gengar because of its poison typing. They send in DNC. I'm a little concerned with this, but I end up one-shotting DNC with Hyper Voice. They send back and do a Blue Flare, which I barely cling to alive, and hit that with Hyper Voice. Send in Slowking, so I use Hyper Voice. It takes it and finishes me up with Ice Beam. I send in Grant, Dark Psychic. He's not liking that, so he's swapping to a fellow Steel type. I use Dark Pulse. They use Stealth Rock. I use Metal Sound. He uses Spikes. I use Dark Pulse. And then they use Drill Peck, which hardly does anything to me, and I finish it up with Dark Pulse. They send in Breloom. I use Metal Sound on Breloom. Breloom used Drain Punch, which is quadruple effective against mine, so that's a total one-hit scenario right there. I send in Joel the X-Cloud. He's not liking Joel, so Slowking takes the burn from Fire Blast. I use Shockwave to finish up Slowking, and then Breloom comes out, and I was going with Fire Blast, but he ends up Drain Punching me. So I send in Roland the Chatot. He uses Protect. I use Chatter, which would be quadruple effective. So the next Chatter is able to take him out, and I win my final battle. thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic week.